Hi everybody, this is Paul Cunnington. I'm the founder of ACORN Academy, and we're going to talk about goals today. Just before I do, just to let you know how I came to ACORN Academy, I took a course on mindset, on how to think, and this course had such a profound effect on my life. I mean, obviously in a positive way, and helped me so much. And it really joined all the dots for me. And now I work with this particular program as a facilitator, and I help other people. I serve them to support them through the course, and I believe it can have as big an effect on their lives as it did on mine. And it's a great privilege for me to be able to help people in the way that someone helped me. So that's briefly my story. Okay, let's talk about setting goals. And let me just ask you, do you believe that what you think affects what happens to you in your life? I think whenever I've asked that to most people, their inner self says to them, yeah, I think what I think about, affects what happens to me. And yet, very few of us get up in the morning and set our intentions or set goals about what we're going to focus on and what we're going to think about that day. And I suppose that's perhaps because deep down, many of us don't believe it. And of course, successful people do set goals. And my definition of a successful person is somebody who is able to do something that they love, something that they can choose. They're free to do whatever they want to do, and just feel that life purpose and feel in harmony with their life. To me, personally, that is success. So when you're setting goals, how does it all start? Well, it starts with imagination. And we are naturally, our minds are all naturally creative. We are naturally creative beings. So I actually think when people say they don't have a goal or they don't have anything written down, I think deep down, perhaps they do have some sort of dream, some sort of picture deep down in their mind that they've buried. And for some reason, things have just, their mind has told them, look, you're never going to be able to do it. Or perhaps other people have said, you'll never be able to make that happen. It's just not going to work. And so they've buried it. But of course, they still feel stuck. They feel there's something there. So really, at the moment, whatever your current results are, that is happening through your current thinking and your current programming. And as I say, we're all, it's actually in our DNA to want to grow, to want to do things, to want to try new things. It's a part of us. And sometimes if I don't know if you ever feel like there's something else you want to be doing or you feel you should be doing. And that's what it is. It's your inner self talking to you. Emerson had made a great quote, what lies before you and what lies behind you is nothing compared with what lies within you. And it all does really come from within. So most people, 95% of the people, are running on programming that they got in, I love the saying, their little life. So before they were 6, we're just soaking everything up. And these are what you call habits. They're habitual behavior, and we call them paradigms. And these paradigms were picked up, as I say, when we were children. So it's just like, imagine when you were, we learnt a language. We picked it up through hearing it again and again and again. And all of a sudden we can speak, in my case, English, a sort of English anyway. And sometimes you've got children who are lucky enough to live in a place where everyone's speaking 2 or 3 languages. So they naturally just pick up 3 languages. It's fantastic. just through repetition. And then our minds are completely open. And then when we get to about 6, 9, we start to develop intellect, and we start to, have our own thoughts about what we think and what have you. So it's all genetic and DNA that we've picked up, and programming we've picked up from the people who raised us. And of course, it's nothing, they've not done anything wrong, and nothing against what they've done, but that's the programming they were given from the people who raised them, and so forth. So we just operate by this programming. There might be certain foods you like that, the people who raised you, your mum and dad or whoever it was, they don't like, and you end up having the same habits. It could be all sorts of different habits and programming and thoughts that you have all the time. And of course, we're wide open, so repetition in, repetition out. So when you have a habit that you've already got that's gone in through repetition, you can also replace it again by repetition, by taking a new habit and swapping it for one that actually serves you. So it can be done exactly the same way. So how do we set goals? Well, the way I've been taught, and I like this approach, is there are A, B, and C goals. A goals and B goals are really things that you've either done it before, or it's going to be something that's going to be a little bit of a push, but it's not really going to stress you out too much, and you're fairly confident that you know how you're going to do it. So a C goal is the big one. It's one that's really going to make you stretch beyond something you've ever done before, and it's going to be something that's going to scare and excite you, and it's got to be something that you don't know how to do it. It doesn't matter how. That will come later. And it's something you've really got to feel emotional and in love with. It's almost like when you have two people in love and we say they're in harmony with each other, true harmony. Well, you actually are in love with this particular idea, this thought, this fantasy of something that you really, really are excited about and you'd really want to do on an emotional level. So you sit down and you make yourself a want list, and you just start getting down all the different things you want, because what we're doing is we're emptying out, and we want to get to that really, really big one when we are making the list. And of course, when people are focusing on their wants, they find that they're able to make decisions much better. Decision making is something we can talk about separately, but successful people are able to make decisions quickly because they've decided what they're going to do with their lives. And when they make a decision, they're either saying to themselves, well, this is either serving me or in line with where I want to go, or it's not. So I'm either going to do it or I won't. And because they know the direction they're taking, they can make that decision much, much quicker. So you've got to decide to yourself, am I willing to do this? Are you willing to just keep moving forward? And am I able? Now, it's said that, and I believe this is true, that we have infinite potential. If you think of the things that our brains can do, and you think of our body, how we can, cut ourselves and it can heal itself. So our body and our mind has huge potential. I think they're still trying to understand how much potential we've got. It's infinite. So we can do whatever we choose to do. Okay? It's all operating from our inner self instead of taking in outside circumstances and perhaps what other people are saying. The other thing is, when you're thinking and fantasizing about this idea, you don't want to think about anything in relation to your current results. It's irrelevant. Just ignore it. It doesn't matter what your current resources are. It doesn't matter, where or who says or thinks that you can do it or don't do it. All that matters is where you want to get to. That's the only thing you've got to think about. There is sometimes when you go for things like this, going to be an element of risk, but this desire is something you need to plant in your mind, just like you're planting something in a garden of your subconscious. And it works the same way as a garden. If you plant positive thoughts, then you're going to have flowers. And if you plant negative thoughts, well, you're going to have a lot of weeds. But it's going to mean you're going to have to stretch. You're never going to feel that you're ready. Whenever you take on something new, I think certainly in the past years since I've been working closely with this program, anything I've done 90% of the time, I'm not really ready for it. And if you keep thinking about something, then you're just never going to do it. You do something, you just do it, and then you get better. Getting better is such a good thing all the time. We're never ever going to be perfect. That's the whole thing. You know, we're always going to be moving forward and growing. Nothing is ever going to be just the right circumstances. You've just got to do it. You've just got to jump. And two things are going to happen. You're either going to win or you're going to learn. And quite frankly, sometimes the learning exercises are almost bigger than the wins, because that can really move you forward. There's a great app when you're sitting down and putting together this vision that I'm going to talk about, and it's called the Think Up app. And what I'll do is, with this particular video message, in the post, I'll put the link for the Think Up app. And if any of you want any help with it, by the way, I'm not affiliated to this. It's just a great app. Then, but if you need any help with it, you know, get in contact with me. And but it's a brilliant app. Excuse me, for manifesting your vision. It's something you can have on your phone. So when you're manifesting your vision, because we all think in pictures, everything happens when we create a picture. So it's going to start as an idea. And then that idea, your intellectual mind or the logical part of your mind is going to start thinking about it, and it's going to turn into a theory. And then your logical part of your mind is going to pass it on to your subconscious mind. And that's where your feelings are. And you're going to start getting emotional about it. And that's where your actions come from, because you act based on your feelings. And when it engages in your subconscious mind, when it gets a message, it cannot differentiate between something that is a lie or something that's true. Everything, the logical part of your mind that is passed to your subconscious. So when you create a vision and you say to your subconscious mind in the present tense, this is something that I'm doing right now, your subconscious mind is going to accept it. And then based on your feelings, those feelings are going to transfer to your body, and then your body is going to act based on the instructions from your subconscious mind. And when you start to act differently, your results will start to become different as well. You're going to have to learn to, I talked about sometimes there's an element of risk, and the risk is because you're going to feel uncomfortable. You're going to be taking on these old paradigms, these old habits. And you need to almost learn to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. If you're feeling uncomfortable a lot of the time and you're taking on new things, it means you're growing, and it means you're probably on the right path. So what you need to do now is be a star of your own movie. So if you think back when we talked about, you know, imagination, when we were children, we'd imagine all the time. Perhaps people would even tell us off in class, you know, because we weren't paying attention, because we were imagining. So you've got to now imagine and draw that picture. I remember seeing a wonderful picture of a little girl, and she was wearing a police uniform outfit, you know, that you can get for the kiddies. And she had a toy Alsatian. And then there was a picture of her, obviously years later, as an adult. And there she was with a fully grown Alsatian. And of course, she's got her full proper police uniform on, and she's got a gun because it was in the States. And there she is. She's literally living her dream. She's living in that picture that she manifested in her mind. So we need to visualize whatever it is we want, that it's already achieved. We need to think about the kind of person we're going to be. We need to create this picture, and we need to polish the vision. So all the little details about what are you doing? What are the new habits you've taken on? Where are you living? Maybe are you doing different things, driving different cars? Are you with different people? Are you behaving in a different way? There may be behaviors that you start to pick up because you want to act in a different way in line with this vision, and you pick up the way other people who perhaps you admire act, and you pick up some of their habits, and you build that into your vision. It's literally like, you know, it's almost like one of these programs I think you can get on the computer nowadays where you can start to build your own house or something. So we're just building that vision. And you need to have a goal card. So a goal card is going to be something like this. It's going to be something you're going to carry. And you're going to write on it, I'm so happy and grateful that. And then you're going to write down your goal and your vision in the present tense. And then at the end of it, it's good to write with ease, flow and joy. Because these goals, it doesn't always have to be hard. Sometimes things can happen with quantum leaps. So it doesn't have to be hard. You can actually tell yourself that you can do this easily. And that's okay. It's okay to achieve your goal easily sometimes. So you need to read this card twice a day. And I would suggest put down this vision once you've really, got it together. It perhaps might be a bit long at first, but just get it together into one paragraph as you start to really crystallize it and hone it down. And then you can put it on this ThinkUp app, and you can put music with it, and there's all sorts of clever things with the app. And then you can keep playing it to yourself, but you're going to record it and you're going to read it out into your own voice. So you'll hear yourself saying it to yourself, which is of course what we call auto-suggestion. It's just the same as, you get up in the morning and you feel a bit stupid when you first start doing this, and you look in the mirror and you say to yourself exactly the person you want to be in the present tense. And it's all about being better than the day before, being a better you than the day before. You're not competing with other people. You're just being your own best self. You never ever compare with other people about what you're doing, and you don't listen to other people who don't serve you about what you're going for. Napoleon Hill said, if you're able to imagine something, if you're able to create a vision in your mind, then just like that little girl who became a police officer with her real Alsatian, then it means if you have the imagination, you also have the talent to achieve it. Now, it could be that you're thinking to yourself, well, hang on a minute, if it's that simple, if it's that straightforward, why doesn't everybody do it? Well, they lose their vision, they lose their belief, they lose their faith, and perhaps they don't understand that even with the vibration that's necessary, that sometimes things have a gestation period, and it will come in its time. When you're creating something, it will come at the right time. And it just is what it is. And this is something you need to study and do your own research on. But this is a very, very simple way of working towards your goal. Repetition is going to be essential. So in a nutshell, that is how I approach goals. If you want to know more about things like belief and how to keep your confidence, how to get on the right vibration, and lots of other things, then just keep watching out for these guides that I'll put in the ACORN Academy group, and I'll cover them all. And if you have any questions, then please get in touch with me. And if you would like to know more about the mindset program that I worked with, and you would like to invest and spend more time working on yourself and your mindset, then I'll also put a link for a discovery call you can have with me, and I can discover what it is that you want to achieve in your life, and you can discover more about the program and how it can help you. Okay, well, that's goals. I hope you found it interesting, and have a wonderful day, and I'll look out for you soon in the group. All the best now. Bye.